Hello, this is William Chung in Toronto. I'm going to show how to get the output from your ant build on CloudBees into Papertrail. Currently, I don't have any events in my Papertrail account, and on Jenkins in my CloudBees account, I don't have any jobs, so I'll create a new job to build a GitHub repository. The repo I'm going to build is this one here. I picked this repo because it's an ant project, and the build XML is pretty simple. So it's not going to take long to build, which is good for my demo. Okay, I'll name this job ant sample build 1. Because it's an ant project, I'll select build a freestyle software project. Okay, and then I need to specify the GitHub repo. I just copy it from here. And paste it in. And for the branch I want to build, I'll build a master branch. And then normally what you would do to build an ant project is you would add a build step to invoke ant. But because we want to get the output from ant to Papertrail, we need to execute a shell command first. And the command is provided in my submission in this Papertrail logging setup script file. Okay, so let's copy that and paste it in as the command to execute. And then after you specify that this shell command is to be executed, then you can invoke ant. And normally you would just leave targets blank to execute your default target. But in order to configure the login to Papertrail, there's some ant options you need to specify here. And I also provide those in my submission in this ant options for Papertrail logging file. So let's copy that and paste it in as the targets. Okay, so now the job is ready, so we can save it and build it. And while we're waiting for the build to start up, I can talk about the script that you need to run before running ant. So the script creates a directory, this Papertrail logging directory in the Jenkins workspace, and then it downloads 2 files to the directory. First file it downloads is a log4j jar, and the second file is a log4j XML. And both files are just downloaded to the this directory in the Jenkins workspace. Okay, the job started, so let's check out Papertrail to see if any logs come in from the build. Okay, build started. Okay, build finished. Cool. Okay, so let's actually look at the output of this build to make sure it matches. Okay, so the build started here, right, at 2156. So in Papertrail, the build started 2156, yeah. And let's see. Okay, the build finished at 2156. So the build finished in Papertrail 2156. Great. And we can see that there's this log about building the jar from the jar target in the build XML. Right? It's built into Scratch Jenkins workspace and sample build 1, etc. Right? So we see that log here as well. Okay, so it works. Now how it works, let me get back to the explanation. So, you can actually see the script being executed by Jenkins here, right? So it creates this Papertrail logging directory in the workspace for this job, and it downloads a log4j jar file from iBiblio Maven into the directory, and then okay, so this is just all the downloading. And then it downloads a log4j XML file from my submission on CloudSpokes into the directory, right? And then it after this script is run, then it runs Ant with the options I specified, remember, in the targets. And those options are to specify a listener as the log4j listener, and specify as the lib parameter the Papertrail logging directory which was created earlier, and then it gets into the build. If we look at the workspace for this job, we see here's the Papertrail logging directory which was created. And this isn't part of the GitHub repo, obviously, right? And in the directory, there's the log4j XML and the log4j jar. Okay, and the log4j jar, as I said, it's in my submission here. And what you need to configure in your version of this XML file is the port that you want to log to Papertrail on. So this is this is my port in the syslog host parameter in this appender, the syslog appender. So this is just standard configuration for log4j syslog appender, except that you're specifying Papertrail as the host, and you need to specify the right port. So just make sure you don't use my port, okay? Okay, so that's the XML, and for the options, here, right, you specify the list. Oh, I just talked about this, right? So this just configures Ant to use this log4j listener. So it's going to also pipe the output from the build to log4j based on that log4j XML file I just showed you. And for the class path where it finds the log4j XML, it's going to use this directory which you specify in the -lib parameter. And this is also where Ant's going to find the log4j jar. So that's why in the script I have to download both a log4j jar and the log4j XML to that directory, which is specified as the -lib option. Okay. So now let's try running this job again. Make sure everything works. Okay, we're waiting here, and in Papertrail, we can just wait until the logs start coming in. Still waiting for an executor. I'm just using the free CloudBees account here. Okay, it started, so let's go to Papertrail and wait. Okay, so you see the logs coming in. Okay, so everything is still working, right? So it built the jar and it finished the build. Okay, that's great. Why I ran this again is I want to show you um, what happens when the script is run again. Now, okay, so let's look at the output on Jenkins. So you see this time when it gets the log4j jar file, because the jar is already in the workspace, it doesn't actually download it. And that's because in the wget I specify no clobber as an option, so that saves on the download time for subsequent executions of this script. And you also see for downloading the log4j XML, I specify a -n so that because that log4j file is already in the workspace and the source is is not newer than what we already have, right? It says here, server file no newer than local file log4j XML. It doesn't download it, so this just speeds up the build for executing these commands. And now let's try actually changing the log4j XML. So I'll go to my submission and let's see. Okay, so it's this, the log4j XML is here. So I'll upload a new one to S3. It's this log4j XML here. I'll edit. So now let's say instead of logging info messages from ants, we want to log debug. Okay, so let's save. Okay, so now I'll get this log4j, I'll upload it to S3. Okay, it's done. Alright, so let's let's run this build again here, right? Okay, build now. And this time it should download that new log4j XML with the debug level into the workspace and use that new option. Okay, so we have to wait again for an executor, and okay, this is Papertrail here. Okay, finally, it started. Okay, so let's watch Papertrail to see the logs coming. Now you see debug logs coming in, right? All these debug messages. Okay, the build finished. And let's actually check the console output in Jenkins to make sure it matches. See, Jenkins also has all these debug logs, and of course, Papertrail gets them as well. So that shows you how you can update the log4j XML to control what output you get in Papertrail. And we can look at the script commands here. When it gets the log4j jar file, it doesn't retrieve it because it hasn't. It's already in the workspace. However, for the log4j XML this time, it knows that the ROM file is newer, right? Because I specified -n as an option for wget, and because it's newer, then it downloads to the workspace, and that's why you have all these debug logs. Okay, so that's the demo, and it's pretty cool, right? Jenkins on CloudBees and Papertrail. Thanks.